they had people, they scheduled a lot of people to come get their badges, to stuff the goodie bags. They got their badges and ran. And there was a 3-hour line to get your badge because they had no one helping collecting badges, well, to scan the barcodes, or to get badges. They had no one helping to pass out goodie bags. And so like, not only did you have to wait 3 hours, there was like no guarantee you got a goodie bag because they had to like go and make sure it's like, okay, they're doing this, here's your badge, here's your goodie bag, and then like sometimes they forget the goodie baggers. Like we just wanna get everybody out of line. And the issue with that is ACON had expanded to 4 days long. So it was Thursday through Sunday. And so they're like, okay, yeah, everyone's gonna get their badge on Thursday. They have a party Thursday night. And only like a third of the people were able to get their badge on Thursday. And like so I went with the SCACon crew because that's one of the perks of being staff there is the director will compass tickets to ACON to get more ideas for SCACon. And so she went at 10 in the morning, got on the line at 2. My brother went at 2 in the afternoon, got on the line at 6. And like, they closed registration. So registration does have an opening and a closing period, and they closed registration at 9. They originally were supposed to close at 8, but since they had so many people, they extended it an hour. And then the next day, they managed to fix a significant number of problems, but they did have to release a PR statement apologizing for the length of the line because and this was a mistake that they, like in addition to the length of the line, they also made the mistake of not clarifying where the line for purchasing tickets and where the line for pre-ordered tickets were. Because those are 2 separate lines, and they combined them into one. And pretty much, like, that line was indeed half and half, but it would have the half that was pre-ordered would have gone so much faster as soon as they told us, like, okay, get in this line. Because that line wrapped around the convention center. So you know that line, okay, so who here's been to Anime NYC? Okay, so you know that line when you first go into the dealer's room, like right before the dealer's room opens? That was the length of the line. Yeah, and it wasn't moving.
Is it Manhattan?
Anime NYC is in Manhattan, it's at the Javits. Yeah, you should go, it's fun. It's very good. I would say volunteer, but their volunteer applications are closed. Double check
What's
them.
coming up?
Yes, it's in November.
November 17th around there.
Thank you.
Oh, there is one other way to get it to a con besides volunteering as staff.
Oh, press?
Oh, the stalls, the vendors. Sometimes the vendors need extra hands because people cancel last minute or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. If you have any friends that do art or anything, like and they vend, or any nerd shop that does go to conventions to sell their wares, definitely hit them up and see if they had people drop at the last minute, because it does happen sometimes. Very rarely, but it does happen. It happens more with artists than vendors. So I lost my train of thought. Dang it. No, it wasn't. No, it's still on volunteers. No, the reason I was still on volunteers is because, so you have your panel list, right? And then you have to put them in a schedule. You have your volunteer list. You have to separate them out. You have to separate out places for them to volunteer. Like, you're gonna have registration. You're gonna have people over panels. You're gonna have people in the vendors room. You're gonna have people running who need to run tech, like you saw earlier. So like, you'll need this whole nice little form, and you can usually find like templates for them. I actually do have a couple templates for volunteers, and you'll need where they're comfortable working. So if they're comfortable working with tech, if they're comfortable helping run tournaments, because if you stick a girl in a tournament room and it's her first year ever going to any type of tournament, you will not see her again. Like you will find her in a corner just shaking. She's like, it smells so bad. Yeah, sorry. Don't traumatize people like that. If you do have a cafe, DreamCon has a maid cafe. I ran the maid cafe for SCACon. Generally, you don't want to just stick guys in there.
Exactly.
No, you totally can. If they're comfortable working with the maid cafe, then you totally can stick them in there. However, you want to make sure the people that you put in there are comfortable working in the maid cafe and are also comfortable following your specific set of rules for said cafe. Because at SCACon, because it was a school convention, if someone grabbed us, we had to report it to security. We couldn't punch them. At DreamCon, we're gonna punch you. Point blank, end of story. Like we don't necessarily have security at DreamCon, but staff is security. Volunteers are security because the volunteers that we have, we do trust them to do what we believe is necessary in said situation. So you have to sort out your volunteers into the different places that they're going to be, and you also have to sort out their availability because maybe they work on Friday and so they can only work Saturday or Sunday. Maybe they have like a morning shift on Saturday and then they're like, I can work Saturday night. Cool, come down. And then you have the people that will put their availability and then not show. Oh, or they'll show at the wrong time because they didn't read correctly. It's like, I thought it was Friday. No, it's I thought it was Saturday. No, it's Friday. We needed you for setup. The word set up implies the first day. Oh, I didn't know where I was gonna be. Did you just not read the email? You didn't read anything. So you'll need somebody to organize your volunteers, but they'll also need to be able to adapt and reorganize your volunteers because sometimes you have 6 people who are room monitors for panels and you only have 2 panels going, and then you have like 2 people or like 1 person running through the exhibit hall, and all of a sudden an artist or a vendor needs to go pee, so they need somebody to watch their booth, and so like that person's stuck there at their booth, and now you have nobody monitoring the exhibit hall because they have to watch the booth. So if you do decide to sell merch, what you can do is you can have like 2 people over merch and money, as same for registration, 1 person over like main registration, then both of them, the secondary person can also handle money, so that way your money isn't changing 700 hands. And you can take the rest of the volunteers, the rest of the people who are in the merch booth, and use them as volunteers in other areas if necessary. Because I promise you, unless your merch is really, really clean, you're not gonna need 7 people in a merch booth at any given time. So, man. Alright, so volunteer story right quick. Because, like, they don't really get it. When you have somebody who doesn't want to volunteer, but they volunteered, and they just walk off, yeah, whatever consequence you set, feel free to enforce that. And I do recommend enforcing more of a consequence than you're not going to volunteer next year. Favorite consequence is taking a badge and forcing them either to leave or purchase one. Because they're wasting your time. Thank you. Because they're wasting your time because now they don't want to volunteer, they just want a free badge. And so like you have to go and make sure, like now you have to go find them, which is time out of, no, because like if you send them to panels and then your panelist is like, I need some people for panels. I just sent you 3, what do you? Now you gotta go find your panelists, like whoever you sent to panels, because that means they're not there. And then, like, if someone comes back off shift and you needed them elsewhere, you're now not there to tell them, I need you here, because you have to go find panelists. Well, you have to go find volunteers for panels and take their badges and kick them out. That's happened to left field. And it's really, really whack because left field pays their volunteers. You gonna pay me, give me a free badge, and all I have to do is sell some shirts? Cool. Why you gonna walk? Like, you gonna walk and get kicked from that? DreamCon, all of their volunteers showed up the first day, and then by 7 p.m. Saturday, they had 5 volunteers. I don't know how the fuck it happened. They just all disappeared. Like, I saw 7 of them and setting up the little stand for pictures. I saw like 12 more going from registration to panels or gaming or like wherever they needed to go. Like, they were just like, okay, they're being assigned and they were walking away. And then when I was like, hey, I need a volunteer for so-and-so job, next thing I know, I was like, okay, I found 1, I found 2, and then Friday or Saturday I walked in and there were like no volunteers anywhere. It was only staff and veterans, and I was like, where the fuck they all go? They should be here. So yeah. And like at the time, the only clause that DreamCon had was if you're bad, well, if you no call, no show, then we're not gonna invite you. You can't be a volunteer for next year. Can't words right now. God. And so that was like, no, we're gonna change that, because if all they can do is like, oh, you'll keep your badge, we just won't let you volunteer. Well, I got a badge, so I'm good. No, take them, hunt them down, take them, make them pay for a badge. It's faster.
So the agreement with the volunteers, like you work a certain amount of hours on Friday and the rest of the weekend, or you work 5 hours a day?
It varies from place to place. A lot of them do have a specific set hours of, this is how many hours you have to work in order to earn your badge. For SCACon it was 4. For DreamCon it's 8. Not DreamCon, I'm sorry. For Anime NYC it's 8.
A day or a week?
The weekend. Yeah. Like now y'all see it's like, oh, I can do that. And it's not all in one shift either, because the shifts are 4 hours. So you could just be like, I can only work this day at this time and this day at this time. And they're like, okay, cool. You've earned your badge. Go ham. And like, with the fact that they pay you, it's like, okay, we'll only pay you for 8 hours, but that's no sweat on us because we don't have to pay you for like a lot of hours. So, and like, it's just, it does vary from place to place. And I don't remember, it was some convention, it was some anime convention out in California. I don't know if it was Anime Expo or Crunchyroll Expo, but one of them actually, because they pay you, if you dip on your, like they pay you as well if you dip on your shift or whatever, or like no call, no show, they charge you for the badge. Like they will send you an invoice, it's like, nope, $75, pay up. Run us our coins. You wasted our time. Give us our money.
They sue you on small claims court. They sue you on small claims court. They say your invoice, you gotta pay it. Like how they get the money?
That one. Laws in California are different than laws in New York. Which is also, laws are different in New York than Texas, which is why I love New York, because like the whole that paid volunteer thing, like that's, the minimum is 15. It's like, thank you, because in Texas it's 7. $7 damn dollars. So marketing. The way you get more people to go to your panel, to go to your convention is via marketing. You have to. Social media is your friend. You can have a website. It doesn't necessarily need. It's not always necessary, depending on what kind of convention. Maybe it's just for a day. Maybe it's for the weekend.